We're going to be taking a look at rational exponents and we're going to be building it up. Our first place to start is the nth root. Now in notation, the nth root is written like this, where n is the index, as we see above the square roots, or the root sign, n is the index, whereas x is known as the radicand. So let's look at an example we all know. This is the square root of 9. Often we see it written as the square root of 9. And notice that the square root of 9, there's a 2 there, and that index implies the square root, but often we don't need to write the 2 there. If there's no index written, it's implied that it's the square root. What this means is what number multiplied to itself is 9. Square root of 9 is 3, because 3 times 3 is 9. Let's look at the cube root. The cube root looks like this. Now, this is known as the cube root. The index is 3, and the radicand is 8. The way we can interpret this question is, what number multiplied to itself 3 times is 8? The solution is 2. So the cube root of 8 is 2. We can go on to the next one, the fourth root. Now, all this changes here is the index is now 4. Our radicand is 10,000. What number multiplied to itself 4 times is 10,000? It's 10. You may note that we have 4 zeros. So every time you multiply by 10, it adds another 0. So rational exponents, we can look at the nth root, and I've shown you this before, but radicals can be written as rational exponents. Now, we could say that if n is my index, so the nth root of x, can also be written as a rational exponent as x to the power of 1 over n. The 1 really is the power above the x. So x to the power of 1 is just simply x. So let's do an example. We're going to write as a radical 16 to the power of 1/4. What we are able to do right off the bat is we can see that the index of the root is 4. So a lot of people better understand it when we write it as a radical. So the fourth root of 16, well, what number multiplied to itself 4 times is 16? 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. It's 2. So we're going to write another one as a radical. And it's 243 to the power of 5. So I'm going to write it as a radical, and what we can see is this is the fifth root of 243. Notice again that the number in the denominator of my exponent now becomes my index. Naturally, I'm hoping anyways, that some number multiplied by itself 5 times is 243. It's 3. Now, how do I expect you to know this? Well, you may take some time in the beginning of simply writing down the powers of 2, from 2 to the power of 0 all the way to 2 to the power of 10. That will be useful for you. 3 to the power of 0, maybe all the way up to 3 to the power of 5. Also, all the integer values from 1 to 10, definitely we should know the squares of these numbers off the top of our head. Let's try another example. We're going to write as a radical 1,000 times, or 1,000 to the exponent 1/3. We could write this, now it's really easy to write it as a radical, so our denominator of our exponent becomes our index of our radical. So what number, and our radicand is 10,000, or sorry, 1,000, what number multiplied by itself is 1,000, sorry, let me say that again, what number multiplied by itself 3 times is 1,000, that is 10.